Welcome to Independent Minds Expert Ideas, a virtual talk with true experts from all over the globe about how to thrive in a changing world. My name is Buchholz. I'm calling from Düsseldorf, Germany. And on the other side of the globe, I have Lindsay Adams here from Australia. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Christian, great to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here, and it's great to have you also as a co-author here in that book that we just released, Independent Minds Expert Ideas. And I will put the link to that book also on our show notes that if you want to read it and get inspired by all these ideas, just click on the link and you can get it to the location where you are right now. Lindsay, good to have you here. You're a keynote speaker, referral marketing and business network specialist. That sounds really interesting. What is exactly the profession that you're doing?
So I call myself, in fact, I'm known around the world as the relationships guy. Yeah. And I've been running this business now for 20 years, and I base my business on relationships. In fact, I wrote a book called The DNA of Business Relationships, another book. I told the story of how the house I live in, I built myself. Mm-hmm. And I built that by relationship. And my business, I've grown and built again by relationship. And you too can do that. And it's simply what it is. It's about tapping into the networks, the people you know, and making connections with who they know to meet and do business with the people you want to do business with. And so we all know at least 250 other people. And in fact, many of us know many more than that. And if we start to think about, if we simply ask the question, who do you know who? Who do you know who, needs or can do or, has whatever? Ask that question of someone that you know and trust in business, and they will simply introduce you. And so doing business by the power of relationship is one of the simplest and yet most powerful and effective ways of doing business.
And as you said, this works also internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. And, think about it. How come we're talking today? How did we get together on this book project? We were introduced through our speaker buddy connections from around the world. I mean, we've known each other for a number of years anyway. However, the motivator, the mover and shaker behind this project, Paul Terval, very long-time friend of mine, tapped into his network of other speakers and invited those. And then, it said to me, Lindsay, who do you know who you think would be a good author to contribute to the book? And so, we assembled the group of experts that we have surrounding us with this amazing document. And so, again, relationships.
Absolutely. I think that is also the base of everything we do in our jobs as speakers, especially, and experts. So being a referral marketing and business networking specialist, that is not something that you can learn on a university or in a qualification. So how did you become an expert in this field? What is your background?
Yeah, okay. So a very interesting question. My background, I worked for 23 years in government in Australia, 18 years in the Australian Taxation Office. How to stop a conversation quickly at a social function. So, Lindsay, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm an auditor with the tax office. Anyway, so worked in government for a very long time, started my own business in the year 2000, and I went on the journey of becoming a professional conference speaker. And the way I built my business was through the people that I knew. And so I tapped into the connections that I had and said, who do you know who would be interested in hiring a speaker for the next event? Who do you know who needs help building their team and training their managers? And so it was sort of a natural function for me. And I think where it all came back, Christian, originally was my eldest brother, Neville. he is a natural networker and he keeps in touch with people. Now he's 14 years older than I am, so he'll be 35 next birthday. He's 14 years older than me, but he keeps in touch and he has friends all over the country of Australia, and he's able to tap into that network and connect people. And I watched from afar as he did this, in my formative years. And then when I went into business, I simply modeled his behavior. And then, of course, there are formal networking groups and so on in the business world, which, are common in all countries. And I joined a networking group. And one of the things that I found myself excelling at was actually making connections with people in the room. And so when I met someone, I would always be thinking, who do I know who might be able to do business with this person? And so as a natural connector, people kind of gravitated to me, and I became like a center of influence. That was kind of the birth of the basis of, doing business by relationship for me. And as I went through my business, for the first number of years, I did a lot of team building. Then I morphed into manager and leadership development. And then I began teaching business owners and salespeople how to do business by referral. And so what's the one thing that underpins all of those topics is relationships. Mm-hmm. And it was about 5 years ago, one of my clients said, you're the relationships guy. Mm-hmm. You should claim that term. You should call yourself that. And I went, oh, I like that. And, I went on and the domain name was available, and here we are. So now I own, I am the relationships guy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's how often these careers develop, that you don't have the intention to become that when you start, but you gain a lot of expertise, and at the end you have the feeling that you exactly know what you want to do and what you're standing for. And I think that's the journey that we all have to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, it's not that hard. Mm-hmm. I talk about, in the article that I wrote about doing business by referral, and it really is, it's just simply about the power of connecting in to your network and thinking about how could I be of service to other people and how can they serve me? And, I'm constantly thinking about the next step. Whenever I meet someone, I've always got at the back of my mind, could I do business with them, first of all? And if I don't think I could do business, then maybe my buddy Christian could do business with them, or someone else within my network. I think if we all have that mindset, it really makes a difference.
So you constantly have to think about it, how you can refer people, how you can recommend them to do that in that situation.
And I think, when you go networking, a lot of people just go to a function and you say to them, what are you here for? And they say, well, I'm here to network. Mm-hmm. Well, what does that mean? So whenever I go to a function, I have a clear intention. I've got a goal in mind. And usually it's, I want to meet and connect with somebody, or I want to, so that might be, goal number one. Goal number two might be to have meet with three significant others, have three significant conversations. And that is, to meet somebody new, to explore what they do and try and understand where they fit. Maybe could I do business with them, or could somebody in my network do business with them? And then, number three is just to have an interesting conversation. And so, it's not all hard work. It is simply just about enjoying the relationship sometimes.
Yeah, so it's about doing it with a goal, with a target, but it's not really work in the way that it should be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should feel like fun, yeah. So you wrote an article with the title "Stop Selling, Start Partnering" for our book. What is your core message here?
So, the core message is when you go out networking, it is never about selling. Mm-hmm. It's always about relationships. You think about this. If we all go to a networking function expecting to sell something, we're just going to meet a bunch of hungry salespeople and we're all going to be trying to bite the arms and legs off each other. Yeah. Instead, if we go out networking, we don't worry about selling, stop selling and start partnering. And so it's go back again to thinking about, how can I establish a relationship with this person and get to know them a little better? And if I know and understand them, then I may be able to refer some business to them. And guess what happens if you refer business to someone, Christian? This is where the law of reciprocity kicks in. Mm-hmm. And they will then go, wow, Lindsay, thank you so much. And guess what they'll want to do in return? They'll want to refer some business back to me. And so sometimes you have to give first in order to receive. And so it really is about stop selling, start partnering, find other people in the room who you can connect with. Now, I've got this great concept called the key four. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine this, you're here, this is you, and there's four other people. Connect with four other people who share your target market, but don't compete with you. Mm-hmm. And so these other four people, they work with the same people you want to work with, but you don't compete with each other, you partner with them. And so then they can refer business to you until the cows come home. Now, you and I are both professional conference speakers. And so, I talk about relationships, and I do this in Australia and internationally in my speaking community. And so I've got some buddies in my local city in Brisbane here in Australia who I'm very close with. I've known them for a long, long time. I trust them deeply and I know what they talk about, and they don't talk about the same topic that I do. So after I speak at a conference, I can go to the conference organizer and say, hey, have you thought about who's going to speak next year at your conference? And the answer is almost always, oh, no, I haven't thought about that. And I go, well, when you're ready, give me a call, because I know at least four other great speakers that I can recommend who are not me, who don't talk on what I talk about, but are great speakers and would be suitable for your audience. And they go, oh, wow, could you? That would make my life so much easier. And then, of course, there's opportunities for me to do that for you. You're in Germany, I'm in Australia. We love international speakers here and vice versa. And so it's easy for us to help and support each other simply by having that partnership, that relationship. And so it takes the pressure off to sell. It's simply a matter of just building good relationships, and people will want to help you.
Yeah, perfect. That's also a good example to show how this principle is working. And but I'm also sure that some of the listeners now have a question in mind that is like, okay, if I refer someone or recommend someone, what is happening when someone is not delivering the same quality that I'm doing with my customer? What can I do, and how can I make sure that this will not happen?
Okay, so this is a very critical piece here. So if I'm going to refer somebody to my valued client or customer, two things are going to happen. One, my valued client and customer already knows me, trusts me, has a relationship with me, and they value my service. If I'm going to refer someone else, they're going to hold them in the same light as me. So I'm going to give my trust, my relationship with my client to them. Now, if they let me down and don't do the same quality work that I do, what's going to happen? Well, two things. One, they're going to be deemed to be not a good speaker. And two, I'm going to be in trouble for referring a substandard speaker. Mm-hmm. And so the critical piece here before you refer anyone is to make sure that they meet the same standards that I hold for myself. And so I'm very fussy about who I'll refer, because I don't want to be let down and I don't want to be made a fool of by sending in someone who does substandard work. And so that's a critical piece for anyone who's listening and thinking about, doing the key four. They've got to make sure that the other four people that they're going to refer are the same standard that you are. Because if not, embarrassment all around, not a good thing.
Oh, yeah. So it's not about just being a referrer, but it's also about being a quality referrer.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
make sure that this does not happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. You said that at the beginning, you said that everybody knows 250 people,
Yeah.
around 250 people. But you also delivered the K4 model, which means that you need to concentrate on 4 people in your environment. How does that work? How do we refer these 250 to the
Okay.
K4? How
So
do you
the
relate
key
to this?
concept is it's a simple one,
Yeah,
and yet there's a little bit of work that goes into choosing those 4 people.
yeah,
So remember, they share your target market. They don't compete with you.
yeah.
You have to choose these people carefully because you want to make sure that they understand the law of reciprocity. That is, if I help you, you'll help me.
Mm-hmm.
And also that they do quality work. And so what I did, I actually went through a process of elimination. I wrote a list of my local speaker buddies that I knew, and I looked at the topics that they delivered, and I thought about who would be the best fit for my current client base. And then I contacted them each individually, and I said, are you interested in getting some more speaking work? Now, who do you know that would say no to that question?
Mm-hmm.
And then I organised a face-to-face meeting where I put forward the concept of helping each other with our business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not as simple as just, when you come off stage, you say, can I recommend someone? You can actually start to drill down into your client database and systematically introduce each other to your existing clients. And so what we started with was, we understood the concept. Now we have to educate them about our business. So let's pretend that you and I are going to be partners now. I would spend time educating you about the topics that I speak about, the kind of clients I want to work with, and the kind of problems that I would solve and the outcomes I would create. And then you would teach me about your business so that I understood the topics that you deliver, the kind of clients you want to work with, and the outcomes that you create. And so basically then I become another salesperson for you. Now, then we get to the exciting bit. I then select 10 of my clients and I contact each of them and I say, hey, last time we met, you mentioned that you were on the lookout for some help. I think I've got the guy for you. His name is Christian. He's a really good quality expert, speaker, consultant, facilitator. I would like to introduce him to you, and I think that he would be perfect for your business. Now, at this moment, your client has 2 options. They can say yes or no, or maybe. And so if it's a maybe or a yes, then I would move to introduce you, and I prefer to do a face-to-face meeting if I can. Now, in these days, it could be a Zoom meeting, it could be a Skype, Messenger, Facebook, FaceTime. We've got so many options these days, but you know what I'm saying. It could be a virtual meeting, or it could be a coffee shop meeting. Mm-hmm. And I would introduce you to my client and, go through the kind of the social niceties and then get you going in a conversation to see whether there's some synergy between you and my client. And then, of course, you're going to make a list of your 10 clients and do the same for me. And so you could become quite systematic about generating business for each other simply by working through your trusted clients. And if you have a good relationship with your client, when you say to them, I've got someone I'd like you to meet, mostly they'll go, oh, okay. They may not perceive they have a need. However, once they meet you, they might go, wow, well, if Lindsay says you're good, well, then I'm willing to have a chat. And so again, there's a bit of work, a bit of groundwork to do to set this up, but it can be quite powerful.
Yeah. So when I read your articles, that was the main thing that came across for me, because when I look back, and that's what I did when I read the article, I look back in my business, especially in the last years, and I realized that most of the outcome, most of the business that I have right now is based on relationship and based on recommendations from existing clients, but I never did it in a structured way. So what I thought for myself is that I could be maybe more successful if I would do it in using the system that you recommend there.
Yeah.
And I think that's a high value.
Well, it's it's a simple yet powerful system. However, you both have to work. Well, you all have to work at it. Because if anyone of your little your 5-person group, if anyone doesn't work hard enough, then it may not be reciprocal. Now, I have had this situation in the past where someone said to me, "Look, Lindsay, I love the concept. I don't think I can give you as many referrals as you could give me." And so what we did, we agreed on a simple commission structure. And so if one person's giving someone else more business, then the person who's getting more referrals might just simply pay a referral fee. And so you're still in exchange. And I still believe that the best reward for a referral is another referral. However, it doesn't always work that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, again, a couple of my speaker buddies, we have a simple system where if they refer some work to me, I pay them a small commission. If I refer work to them, they pay me a small commission. So it's what works for you. Yeah. Now, be careful here. If your client finds out that you're earning a commission by making a referral, you want to make sure that that again, your referral is a quality one, because if they think you're simply referring someone to them so you can make money out of a referral, then that jeopardizes your relationship.
Yeah.
And so I go back, a good reward for a referral is another referral.
Yeah.
Because it takes out that,
Absolutely.
the money problem.
Yeah, and I think it's a great advice to do that more systematic and with a clear focus on doing that.
Yeah. And I mean, this just doesn't apply to the speaking world. It applies to any business, real estate, insurance, financial planning, health professionals, massage. Like there's always someone who works with the same people that they do, who share their target market and don't compete. And it's simply a matter of just thinking about, who do I know, who I trust, who fits that category.
Yeah.
And if you don't know someone, ask your network.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Work on those relationships.
Absolutely. So we are now living in a more and more digital world, and many of our relationships are digital relationships using social profiles, social networks. How can you transfer these experience that you have on a personal relationship level to the digital system? Do we have some advice here?
Yeah, so it's actually, while we're talking now, it's 10 p.m. local time. So I've been sitting at my computer now for 14 hours. I was sitting here at 8 a.m. this morning, and I've got a good dose of computer neck and back, my shoulders, and however, really, the simple rules apply again with the virtual world. I'm a great connector and I keep in touch. And so, we've been in lockdown now for approximately 2 months in Australia because of the COVID-19 viruses everyone else has in the world. And yet I'm still staying in touch with my friends within Australia and internationally. And, particularly times like this, it's a great time to stay in touch and just say, make a how are you call. And so, think about this. Everyone owns one of these, a mobile phone. And so just go through your contacts and I guarantee, you flick through your contacts, you'll find names there that you've forgotten. You even knew these people. And you'll see a name and you go, oh my goodness, I haven't spoken to them in so long. Get on the phone, get on Zoom, get on Skype, get on whatever your favorite method is and give them a call and just say, hey, how are you? And be honest. I was just going through my database, saw your name and thought, gee whiz, it's been so long since we've spoken.
Absolutely.
Thought I'd just connect.
Yeah.
You only need a 5 or 10 minute conversation and you would be amazed at what just comes out of them.
Yeah.
I've been making systematic how are you calls during the lockdown, and I actually have generated quite a lot of interest in my books, in my online programs, and also just future speeches or whatever for next year.
Yeah.
And simply by making that "How are you" call.
Yeah. Do you have a ratio from your experience how often you should do these "How are you" calls? Because I know that I know some sales agents who do that so often that I don't even answer the phone anymore. So what is a good something where you say,
okay, so it's really simple.
Yeah.
5 to 7 calls a day.
Yeah.
If you make 5 connections a day and have a meaningful conversation, now it could be an electronic one, it could be an email. Hi Christian, how are you? I haven't spoken to you in ages. Just thought I'd drop you a line, say good day.
Yeah.
Or it could be a phone call, or it could be a handwritten note. I'm a great believer in a handwritten note, and I dropped it. I'm reaching across here to my bookshelf to show you this. I have these postcards with this neat photo, which, believe it or not, I took myself many, many years ago. And on the back, it's got my branding. And so I'm a great believer in sending a handwritten note. Now, answer this question for me, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you got a handwritten note?
Oh, that's a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
And so want to stand out from the crowd? Want to get people to remember you? Send a handwritten note. Now, I go around to offices and I see my postcard pinned up on the wall or on, people have got a little notice board by their desk. Yeah. My postcard is there. And so really interesting. And I've got a range of them, actually, a couple of different photos, and they're all interesting photos. And so little handwritten note. Now, you don't have to write a big long letter. It could be as simple as, "Dear Christian, lovely to speak with you last night on Zoom. Kind regards, Lindsay. Dear Christian, really excited about the prospect of working with you. Kind regards, Lindsay. Dear Christian, haven't spoken to you in ages. Just thinking of you. Hope you're well. Kind regards, Lindsay." Just one sentence is enough to make that connection and become memorable. Because think about it, if we're in the forefront of our clients and prospects' minds, we don't have to sell. They want to buy from us because we're so memorable. Yeah. And it's about that relationship.
Yeah, and you can have something that you can use with your hands, not only a message in an inbox that can be deleted. And as you said, some people may put it on the wall and you have a constant remembering of your services and your existence. Absolutely.
Yeah, really simple, really simple.
Great advice. Thank you so much. I have a final question that I also ask the other authors, because we wrote a book about changes in the world and how to thrive in a changing world. So how do you see the changes in the world, and what is your recommendation, how to deal with it, what to do?
Okay, so, the world is constantly changing all the time. The only constant in the world today is change. That's an old line, but it's true. Yeah. And, at the current moment, I think creating or enhancing our relationships is the key to our way forward. If you think about it, the way we do business at the minute is very different. And if we have enough relationship, when we contact people, they will want to talk to us. I think you mentioned, some people ring you so much that you see their name come up, you won't take the call. You want to be the one, when your name comes up, they go, "Oh, hey, Christian. Hey, good to hear from you." And so I think in terms of coping with change and managing change, relationships is the thing that underpins all of that. And it is essential.
Absolutely. That is a perfect advice. Thank you so much, Lindsay. It is a pleasure always to talk to you, and I'm really looking forward to the next time when we meet in person and can have a drink together and not only talk digital.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it already.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Have a great time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goedendag, mijn naam is Paul Terwal en de groeten vanuit Zwolle in Nederland.
Dumelang ho tswa kwa Afrika Borwa, leina la me ke Ogopoleng Mushi.
Hello, greetings from West Kirby near Liverpool in England. My name is Chris Davidson.
Moin und hallo aus Berlin, Deutschland. Mein Name ist Ilja Gee.
G'day everyone, my name is Lindsay Adams. I'm speaking to you today from Brisbane, Australia.
Hello, and greetings from Erlangen, Germany. I'm Laura Baxter.
Hi, ek is Siegfried Lange. Ek is van Windhoek, van Namibia.
Hello and greetings from West Wales. My name's Rebecca Jones.
Hallo aus Düsseldorf, Germany. Mein Name ist Christian Buchholz.